Hauntingly Humdrum, a slice of life Halloween anthology. This episode, a gala for the Ghost Baker of Biodome 54.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Andrew, for that introduction. I'm a big fan of Maddie, but I gotta say, it's weird being up here instead of back in the kitchen. As Andrew said, I'm the chef for tonight's meal. Despite being the chef, I'm a little out of touch, being a ghost and all. So I want you to know the rooibos lemon green beans weren't my idea at all, actually. Full credit goes to my sous chef, Bonnie Herzog. How do you like those? How's the meal, everybody? Good. Back to why I'm here. On the surface, Maddie Banerjee and I don't have that much in common. She's a baker, and I'm a chef. I know for you folks outside the food industry, baking and cooking may seem like two sides of the same coin, but let me assure you they are not. However, Maddie and I do share a love of creating food and feeding folks, and we are also the only ghosts who own their own culinary establishments. I think Maddie would also agree that we ghosts have come a long way. When I was alive 200 years ago, people barely acknowledged ghosts, let alone allowed us to own things. So if you had told me immediately post-apparition that as a ghost I'd someday be traveling to other domes and owning my own business, I'd have asked you what cocktail you were drinking.
White water on the rocks! Hold the water!
Shows how much you know, Table 3. The water in that cocktail is actually gin, but you're right. Bartender? Hold the water next time, yeah? Table 3's had enough. Where I come from, it's not right to have a meal without sharing appreciation for what brought that meal into existence. Gratitude and giving is at the heart of every dish. I spoke with Maddie before planning the speech, asked her how she wanted me to talk her up. And she asked me to mention a few things. First, there's a reason y'all got to enjoy pumpkin puff pastries and tiramisu while waiting in line to get in the door. That reason is something Maddie says she learned from her mother. You can't show up at the table starving and still expect to get the most out of it. So she kept you fed per her #1 rule. Dessert comes first and last. Next, Maddie asked me to pay tribute to how we both got here, literally in some respects. See, I'm normally in Biodome 72 on the south side by the elevated fish farms and agropods. Naturally, right? It doesn't get more farm to table or fresh from the water than that. If you get clearance to come visit 72, I'll make sure you're fed. But my point is that most of who I see in the audience are hot-blooded humans, since us ghosts rely on some really expensive seance science to transfer our tethers to visit other places. Table number 43 got me here. They're the innovators at Expervato. They're working on something that Maddie and I are so excited about, which the proceeds of this gala go towards advancing even further. Technology that allows us ghosts to experience food again. So far, Maddie's been able to feel the dough she's working with, and I've been able to feel the vegetables I'm chopping. It's a huge step from just helplessly bossing my assistants around and yelling at them when they don't get it right. We still haven't been successful recreating the sensation of taste for ghosts. But, thanks to Expervato and other folks who care enough, there may be a day again when I can enjoy food personally, not just vicariously. Now, to talk a little bit more about Maddie, she was named after the soft French cookie I remember loving but never got a chance to bake in life. Maddie's bakery in Biodome 54 is called Baker Street, and inside, the decor is Sherlock Holmes themed. Expervato's tethering range even allowed me to visit. You all probably hated the rain this morning, but to me it was incredible to just stand out in the alley by Maddie's bakery and look up at the water running down the Biodome walls. I wish I could have enjoyed some of Maddie's London fog brownies or marmalade shortbread cookies. Thank your stars I'm not alive, or I'm sure I'd eat all of her rosemary bread before anyone else got a chance to try it. I haven't even got to tell you about the incredible things Maddie has done this year in her community, but she said she wanted to talk about those experiences herself because they've been transformative for her. In any case, it's time for me to go check up on my team in the kitchen. I have a feeling the new assistant we have is burning onions rather than caramelizing them. So, I'll get out of your hair by asking, without further ado, please join me in welcoming to the stage the first ever recipient of the Global Ghost Alliance Community Ambassador Award, Miss Madeline Banerjee.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Hauntingly Humdrum. This episode was written by Rocky Breen. Q was performed by Casey Kirby. The attendee was performed by David Hanna. Sound design by Callie Wills. The music used for the intro and outro of the podcast is The Show Must Be Go by Kevin MacLeod. Links for transcripts and cast and crew information can be found in the show notes. Happy Halloween!